Content warning. This episode contains discussion of the murder of 2 children, the sexual abuse of children, and violence.
The song opens up with a news clip detailing a gruesome crime. The first voice on the track is television journalist Maza Saeedi, formerly of KTNV. She's speaking about a brutal attack on a Las Vegas family in a broadcast report from November 2015. A group of men duct-taped, stabbed, and burned members of a family, resulting in the deaths of Mario and Angelica Jimenez. She says, "These are the telltale signs of a drug trafficking crime." Then she tees up her expert, John Archer, Assistant Special Agent in charge at the DEA. He talks about the link between Las Vegas and Mexican cartels. An ominous beat drops, and a rapper credited as Sinaloa K.O. takes it away from there with some references to Louisiana and greedy relatives.
With a chorus warbling in the background, another, more nasal voice chimes in. "Calling out on my rivals, I'm a hustler and a survivor." The following mediocre verses touch on drinking liquor out the bottle, smoking and drinking all day long, the Conoco gas station chain, viral Vine star Lil Terrio, and ducking the feds.
The voice brings up religion and homicide. Looking to the sky while my hand is on the Bible, get on my knees and pray that, 'cause God is who I follow. Don't make me send them to you, Lord. Forgive them, for they don't know who they pushin', Lord. Another line seems to touch upon the singer's motive behind committing one particular murder. "Why'd you do it? I didn't want to have to grill him. I was saying prayers and doing good. I'm trying to be a Christian. Why'd you say my name? You should have never mentioned. Now you're about to feel the repercussions of your bad decision."
We're pretty sure that second, nasal-sounding voice belongs to Kagan Anthony Klein. Those verses are all from the song Vegas Dreams off Klein's 2020 album of the same name. You can find it on Spotify. It's got cover art that depicts a pastel, almost childlike mobile of clouds, stars, and a crescent moon.
For Klein, the city of Las Vegas appears to have held a special significance even beyond his creative output. Multiple references to Sin City abound throughout the 27-year-old Indiana native's online presence.
Klein stands charged of crimes around child exploitation and child abuse materials. Last month, Indiana State Police mysteriously linked him to the unsolved Delphi murders, the double homicide of 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German.
Given the grave nature of the crimes that Klein has been conclusively and vaguely tied to, it seems reasonable to wonder about the man's whereabouts. Could similar incidents have happened in other places where Klein lived? Well, we've done some digging on Klein's Vegas connection, or lack thereof. Today, we'll be breaking down what we've discovered about his Facebook persona, his job history, and even his alibi for the day that Abby and Libby were murdered in Delphi, Indiana. My name is Anya Kane.
And I'm Kevin Greenlee.
And this is The Murder Sheet, a weekly true crime podcast.
Anya and I connected over the Burger Chef murders, a 1978 unsolved case involving the killings of 4 young restaurant employees.
Now we're looking to track restaurant homicides. To help us understand the patterns of these crimes, we created a spreadsheet of nearly 1,000 eatery-related killings, the Murder Sheet. We'll be drawing on that data throughout Season 1 to give you a deep dive into undercovered crimes. We're the Murder Sheet, and this is The Delphi Murders, Vegas Dreams. Before we go any further, it's important to recap the basic facts of the Delphi murders. Liberty German and Abigail Williams were two young girls from the city of Delphi in Indiana's Carroll County. On February 13th, 2017, the friends went for a walk along Delphi's forested trails. Libby posted an image of Abby making her way along the abandoned Monon High Bridge. A few minutes later, they ran into someone, a man. Libby recorded at least a portion of the encounter, but only a few moments of it have ever been released. The man calls them guys and tells them to go down the hill.
Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill.
We don't know exactly what happened next, but police believe that the person you just heard on that snippet of audio killed Libby and Abby. Authorities released grainy images of the man taken from Libby's video, as well as two sketches that looked like entirely different people.
On December 6, 2021, Indiana State Police released a video linking a social media account under the name Anthony_Shots to the Delphi murders. The following day, Indiana news station Wish TV broke the news that this profile was tied to a man from Peru, Indiana, named Kagan Anthony Klein.
It was a shocking development for the online community that's grown around the Delphi case, a community that includes Anya and myself. But Klein seems to have been on law enforcement's radar since almost the very beginning. Just 2 weeks after Libby and Abby were killed, ISP and the Federal Bureau of Investigation executed a search warrant at a residence on Canal Street in Peru, Indiana, where Klein lived with his father, Tony. A Journal and Courier article on the raid featured a quote from FBI Special Agent Bob Ramsey, who said, "We in no way believe he is connected to the murder of those girls." At this point, we're not entirely sure why ISP seems to disagree with Ramsey's earlier assessment.
But astute observers of Klein's social media presence have noticed something unusual about his Facebook activity in February of 2017. You see, Las Vegas factors into his alibi for the Delphi case. Klein's Facebook wall features a prominent post dated February 13th, 2017. The Life Update claims that he started a new job as a table games dealer at the California Hotel and Casino on 12 East Ogden Avenue in Las Vegas on February 12, 2017, the day before Abby and Libby were murdered. There's one small problem with this. If you arrive at the update via Klein's litany of Facebook Life events, the date the post was actually made pops up as May 13th, 2020. A little over 3 months later, Klein was arrested for crimes against children. That certainly makes it look like the guy backdated a bunch of information that would make it appear like he was out of Indiana in February of 2017. Now, we're no social media wizards, but, as many commentators following the Delphi case have pointed out, the Life Update comes across like a desperate attempt to retroactively establish an alibi. It's a little too cute going back on your social media and making it look like you were in another state starting on the day before the murders.
But could it be possible that Klein actually did work in Vegas in 2017? Maybe he just made this post because he knew charges were coming and he was worried he'd be somehow connected to Delphi. That seemed at the very least to be plausible. We decided to investigate, and we started with the California Hotel and Casino, a Boyd Gaming-owned resort situated in downtown Las Vegas. We wanted to figure out if Klein had ever worked there in any capacity. We called Boyd Gaming. We left detailed voicemails. We sent multiple emails. We did not get a response for days.
Then, finally, Boyd Gaming's Vice President of Corporate Communications, David Stroh, sent us an email simply saying, "We will not be able to offer you any comment on this." Nice. I confess, I was a bit perplexed by Boyd's communication strategy here. It seems like it'd be simple enough to share with the public that Boyd had no record of Klein ever working in its casino. If I were running a big business in Las Vegas, I wouldn't want my casino's name in the mouth of some creep from Indiana.
Then again, it's possible that law enforcement asked Boyd to keep quiet, or that they're afraid of getting hit with a variant of the Streisand effect. The idea that disavowing the link with Klein could itself raise awareness of that potential link.
Boyd's refusal to talk to us sent us back to the beginning. But I work on the business beat at my day job, so I know that we didn't have to be satisfied with a flax-belated no comment. We ended up identifying and reaching out to a number of California hotel and casino employees, including a long-timer who was there in 2017. We're not going to name them because they could get in trouble at work for talking to the media. When we ran the name Kagan Klein by the source, they said they didn't remember anyone by that name. I sent them 2 photos, Klein's 2020 booking photo and a picture of Klein and his dad Tony. Our source wrote back, "I'm pretty sure he never worked there."
Of course, the casino was not Klein's only potential link to Vegas. He claimed to flit from job to job, serving as a table games dealer at Wynn Las Vegas, a bail agent at an operation called Vegas Bail, and a business owner/engineer at Area 52 marijuana delivery. But before all of that, he said he studied there. On April 30th, 2018, he backdated a post claiming that he had started school at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas 3 years ago to the date. So, we rang up UNLV. They'd never heard of him.
Next, we started going through his resume. On October 16th, 2017, Klein posted that he began working as a bail agent for Vegas Bail on July 31st, 2016, in Calabasas, California. Just minutes after I reached out to Vegas Bail, they responded, asking me to send over his picture. I sent his booking photo, and again the picture of Klein with his dad. They said the pictures didn't look familiar, and wondered if we could send a picture from 10 or 12 years earlier. But that would have been back when Klein was just 15, and we figured he likely wouldn't have been working as a teenage bail bondsman. The person manning the Vegas Bail account told us that it was weird that the guy claimed to have worked there. We agree.
Klein also made claims about working for the National Park Service as an armed security guard at some undetermined date. That certainly was a frightening possibility, given the nature of the crimes that Klein has been linked to. We reached out to their press relations. They swiftly responded saying, "We have no record of employment for Kagan Anthony Klein or Kagan Klein." Wynn got back to us saying, "We do not have record of a Kagan Anthony Klein being employed by Wynn Las Vegas in any capacity." 2 other businesses that Klein claimed to have worked for, Lockheed Martin and CBD Saves, still have not responded to our request for comment. But we would not be shocked if they'd never encountered Klein before either.
In the interest of being thorough, we also called up Area 52, a cannabis business based in Vegas. Klein claimed to have been a business owner/engineer there, starting on February 18th, 2018, in a backdated post he created on May 18th of that year. Now, in a previous episode, Klein's ex-friend Dylan Howell told us that he often boasted about his marijuana business. But the customer service rep we initially talked to had never heard of him. Neither did Benjamin, one of the leaders within the organization who called us back. Sorry for the audio quality. We were outside of our office when the call came through, and our dog picked this moment to start running around.
No, this isn't the first time that we've actually heard of this guy, Kagan Klein, and then we looked into his report to see, what's going on there. make sure that we weren't wrong about it. But no, this is not an associate of ours or a past employee. And I further researched this guy, wondering why, because it says that he's here in Las Vegas. Well, he was here. And it also says that he's a game stealer. He was never a game stealer. I called them, talked to them. They said they never had him as an employee. It says that he was a security guard, and he doesn't even have his license or whatever they're called.
Right.
With the people that he went on there. So, like, literally every single one of those is a lie. And I'm kind of glad that we looked into it, because we found out what he had done, and it's disgusting. We have nothing to say about that, really, except for, we're all about peace and love, and here this guy is out destroying lives. That's not okay. We heard that the guy was a murderer, that he's looking up child porn, stuff like that. I was like, whoa, please tell me this isn't an employee of ours.
Jeez.
And, yeah, sure enough, he was not an employee of ours. So thank God for that. We're all about peace and love. We're not about, stuff like that at all. If we were, we'd be the first to throw them, not under the bus, but under the bus.
Yeah.
Because, that's not okay. I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he did do it. I can't really comment on that so much. But like I said, he's never worked here. And I reached out to a few other people. Like it says that he was a game dealer at the Wynn. And I actually have a friend that, he's a supervisor at the Wynn. So I asked him to look into it. He told me the same thing. He's like, he's never worked here. And as far as I can tell, he doesn't even have a gamer's license. So I'm like, oh, okay, good. Well, one less thing for us to worry about.
And also, can I just say, I love Vegas, because everyone I've reached out to in Vegas about this has gotten back to me. I looked into it pretty extensively, never heard of this guy, and I'm just like, you guys are so great for being so open and whatnot. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, because over here, it's all about, what, the word or your name, basically, So if we find out that something like this was under our belt, then we have to announcing, I can't believe we employed this person or something like that, blah, blah, blah. We should have looked into it. But, yeah, that's why all of us were just like, okay, look, no, yes. We're not going to just shove this under the carpet. Like I said, here at Area 52, we're all about peace, love, and harmony and stuff like that. And more importantly, we're about the people. So when you start hurting people, it's like, well, that's the opposite of what we're going for.
Obviously, our review of Klein's Vegas activity is by no means comprehensive. Now, it's possible that he lived and even worked there, or that he stayed there extensively on vacation. But we'll note that in our episode, The Delphi Murders, Kagan Anthony Klein, his ex-friend Dylan Howell told us that the guy lied constantly.
I'll add that Klein is a pretty mediocre liar at that. The best liars are like skilled weavers. They plausibly loop strands of reality and falsehood together in a tight fabric that's silky and pleasing to the touch. Klein's lies are more like a sloppy lanyard constantly on the verge of unraveling. And the fact that everyone who talked to us didn't remember his name or his face seems to indicate that he may have never been in Vegas beyond the odd trip.
One strange wrinkle to this story is captured in a photo uploaded by Klein's father, Tony, who has since deleted his Facebook. In that photo, the elder Klein wears a black sweater bearing a Harley-Davidson logo. Klein the younger wears a Dodgers jersey and a White Sox baseball cap. Some internet observers have identified the background as being near Hoover Dam. That's about a 40-minute drive from Las Vegas.
So is it possible that Klein lived out west for a time? Yes. But if he did, his Vegas experience was far from the opulent, gainfully employed picture he put together on his Facebook profile. Klein's Vegas dreams seem less like a vision realized and more like a shimmering desert mirage.
Thanks to our listener Colleen Cox for suggesting that we pursue the casino lead. And thanks too to our sources from the California, Wynn, Vegas Bail, the National Park Service, and Area 52 for communicating with us. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Murder Sheet. As always, thanks to Kevin Tyler Greenlee, who composed the music for The Murder Sheet, and who you can find on the web at kevintg.com.
To keep up with the latest on The Murder Sheet, please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Murder Sheet, and on Facebook at msheetpodcast, or by searching Murder Sheet. If you enjoy listening to The Murder Sheet, please leave us a 5-star review to help us gain more exposure. And send tips, suggestions, and feedback to murdersheet@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening.